Hello folks, Coach David, CIS Training Systems, head coach. Today we're going to talk about race simulation and what to do and what not to do. This is a segment that we do on 9W, and this happened a couple weeks ago, May 18th, 2019, where we really work on ensuring that the group stays consistently fast throughout the segment. It's a 7.3 mile segment from KQ to Palisades. So as I talk about the actual events that happened during this 15-minute segue, I'm going to definitely draw your attention to a couple of things that I do that can save energy, efficiency, control, and speed and heart rate control. As I've actually created the actual break and created some things to happen, I took the pace up pretty swiftly so that others would react, so that I can understand and get the group to move succinctly in the group. So as we walk through, we pick up some additional riders that are not in CIS but also in other teams. There's some folks that were actually doing the Grand Fondo the day after that joined us as well. But I definitely want to draw your attention to a lot of the key actions that actually happened throughout this entire 7.3 mile segment, around 15 minutes. Average speed on this segment was right around 27.2 for 7.2 miles. And as we walk through, I can definitely tell you some things that actually happened that were in the benefit of CIS and not benefits of others. Okay. So as we walk through this pace line, I'm telling the folks to really focus on keeping it together, as we've done in the past, on really keeping it going and keeping it safe and keeping it flowing. The key behind this is understanding how to really ride fast and not panic, as you'll see in some cases that other riders outside of CIS become very animated and not very focused on fluidity and control throughout the entire effort. I'm going to share with you some heart rate data as well. Heart rate right around this time is 145, which is zone, high end zone 2, low end zone 3 for me. So as we're still rolling 26, 27 miles an hour, and as you see Coach Ed sits in front of me, I'm doing my best to ensure that I recover. And we say this in our program all the time. Recovery is key, especially when you're under effort, because this is a long effort. As I said, it's 7.3 miles. So you have to really conserve your energy and do your best to find the right wheels and to surf the effort and other riders to ensure that you get kind of a free ride down the road. The most important thing is, and you'll find out now that you'll see that there are 3 other riders that have joined us, the blue guy, the guy in the blue kit and the guy in the white kit, and you'll see another teammate of, I think it's NYCC, that joins in as well. I think the unique thing that happens in this environment is I really never commit to the actual break. I'm in the break, but I'm not committed to it, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm really focusing on keeping my effort consistently and controlled. And you'll see this guy in front of me, actually he needs a little bit of work on his pedal stroke. He's spinning too much and without any control at all. Pam just rides right past him like he's standing still. So as you know, the most important thing is also cadence control. It's not necessarily saying you have to spin, you know, everybody says 90 plus RPMs. There's a whole range of cadences that we train on, anywhere from between 50 and 120 RPMs and anything else in between. So the most important thing is utilizing those gears and utilizing the terrain to your advantage. So you'll notice my heart rate's down to 124, which is zone 1. And we're still doing 30 miles an hour. But what I'm doing here is I'm surfing people's wheels. I'm not committing to the effort, but I'm in the effort, if that makes any sense. Coach Wesley is actually doing some training efforts. He was getting ready for Keelington and doing some extended efforts, big chain ring, hard gear, really working some force development drills. And as I say here is never panic. Heart rate still 131, zone 1. Okay, I'm focusing and flowing through. So as we approach the actual segment of the effort where it kind of really picks up, and there's a light that's coming up that we want to either stop at or slow down to ensure that there's traffic that we stay safe. But one thing you'll find out is, and I'll explain it to you after we get through this segment, is once again, you never panic, because now for me, I know at what effort I can actually control and still keep my heart rate in a very sustainable environment and effort without overdoing it. So as you'll see, we get through the light, and there's some animation at the front. So keeping my mind in the game, never panic, shift 1 or 2 gears harder, spin a little bit faster, drive the watts up to about 600 watts, and grab speed down the hill, because I know that I have inertia that I'm going to get back up onto this breakaway as soon as possible. And still heart rate zone 3, actually high end zone 3 or mid zone 3. Cross over the gap. Once again, the guy in the blue needs to actually work on some of his pedal stroke. He's losing momentum. Now, one thing I gotta share, this is kind of something that most people should definitely take in consideration. Paulo, you gotta really work on that cadence. There's a difference between power and speed and power. Right now, it's all about speed and driving consistent power. So to not drive a lot of watt bombs, those watt bombs can be very dangerous as it relates to the amount of effort that you're actually putting out. So once again, I'm just surfing wheels. Okay, I said previously that I'm in the break, but I'm not committed to the break, and you'll notice I'm always around 4 or 5 riders back. I'm not taking the pulls, but I'm in the break. Okay, accelerating when I need to, putting in a little more effort when I need to, but not driving watt bombs, and the heart rate still stays consistent. Zones 2 and 3. Never really hit zone 4 at all until the latter part of the effort. One thing to also consider is if you're in a breakaway, do your best not to surf wheels side to side, and just find a wheel or find a lane that you can hold consistently through, so that you're not wasting a lot of energy going back and forth. Okay? So this also happens as well as when you find other riders that aren't patient, and you'll notice here on the left hand side there's the guy in the blue kit that'll come up on my left hand side. I leave space for him to fill, and you'll see that here in a few minutes. Roger does a really good job of holding Paulo's wheel, okay, and keeping the consistent effort going forward. Tyrone definitely does exactly an amazing job as well, and really follow the accelerations. One thing to always remember though, Tyrone, when you're accelerating, not always did you need to stand up to accelerate. Either shift 1 gear harder or spin a lot faster, so that you can just keep the momentum going and not have to waste a lot of energy that way. Alright, so once again, the guy in the blue kit, I gave him space to kind of just pull in front of me. Once again, I'm not committed to the break, but I'm in the break. Heart rate's 130, zone 1, okay, and we're still doing 32 miles an hour. The most important thing is conserve energy and don't panic. Stay fresh, stay committed, but stay in the game. Okay. As we approach this hill, the most important thing here is never overspin it, but keep the momentum moving and allow the group to pull you through. Okay, and it takes a lot of strength, a lot of fitness to continue to stay at that type of effort without having to overdo it. But with training, everything gets there's a purpose behind everything. And as we start to get towards the end of this second segment, because there was a total of 3, the effort starts to really continue to keep picking up. It's 26, 27, 28, and as we get moving, passing people like they're standing still. So once again, you're going to find out that I give the rider space in front of me. Because if I stay on that person's wheel, I'm committed to the break. So you'll see here in a second what I do. I give them space, and British Ben fills the gap. And I still stay in 5th position. Okay, still riding wheels, 137 beats a minute, staying consistent, keeping it in control, still at 30 miles an hour. Okay. One thing to always remember, and I said this prior, is find the wheel, hold it, try not to go left or right, okay, and not panic. All right, once again, give space so Paulo can fill. Because at the end of the day, if you're racing smartly, not really saying you have to look back to see what's going on behind you, but if there's a space, take the space. And if you're committed to the break, that's what happens when you commit to the break, is that you follow the spaces that are there. Okay. Now, right now I'm in 4th position. Roger pulls off. Okay, does an amazing job up front. You can see it in his video as well, and I'll post it here as well. He does an amazing job keeping the pace consistent. And this is a perfect example of fitness. The guy in the blue, if you're going to commit, commit. Okay, stay up front, keep it rolling, keep it moving. All right. So British Ben does an amazing job, keeps the pace 26, 27 miles an hour. Once again, still in zone 2. Soft pedaling through, because the draft is the best in 3rd position, 3rd through 5th position. Just sitting in and gain a lot of efficiency and control, and keeping the heart rate low. So now as we transition over to the next scene, this is the 3rd phase of 3. And this is where it really starts to pick up. Once again, there's some animation. I never panic, okay? Because this is the final push to maintain momentum to the end. If you miss this momentum, then game over. Then you miss the boat when the selection really needs to be made. Once again, there's a little bit of animation at the front. One of the NYCC guys goes to the front, and actually I think it's one of his teammates was stringing out. Now I'm committed. I'm committed into this break, okay? Because we're coming towards the end. If I don't commit to this break, then it's either going to become more difficult for me to come back on, and or when the selection is made, it's harder for me to make the drop or make the conjunction for that. Cadence is important. Getting up over this riser, 91 RPMs ish, 400, 500 watts. Keeping it consistent and keeping it controlled. We're actually in the zone 4 right now, over the top of this climb, and this is the 2-minute drill. Actually took about a minute and 48 seconds to actually complete this effort. So Wesley and the NYCC guy take a break off the front and really drive the pace, and we're headed down this descent, 30 plus miles an hour. Once again, I'm in 4th position. Soft pedaling because the inertia is already there and the speed's already there. Figuring out, okay, what do I need to do to cross over that gap? It's best to have 2 versus 1 instead of 1 over 1. So I figure out what I need to do. So giving myself some space. Actually, I'm looking over my shoulder to see what type of traffic is in front of me or beside of me. And there's the truck. Same gear, increase the cadence, 1,000 plus watts, 35 miles an hour from 30. Cross over the gap in about 7 seconds to the leaders. Okay. Once again, looking to my left, see how much distance I have, so that when I make this pass, I pass them swiftly and continue to keep rolling 33, 34, 35 miles an hour. 600 watts, 500 watts. Now, remember when we talk about our ladder drills, cadence between 97 to 102? In the maintenance programs, in the in-season training, we really focus on keeping that cadence really high, so that when these efforts actually happen in a race situation or in a group ride situation or simulation, your ability to drive higher paces and speed based on your cadence and gearing is important. So you'll see zone 3, 34 miles an hour. I'm actually up into zone 4.5, almost 5. 163 is zone 5 for me. So still in zone 4. So the key is I want to deliver my rider to the line first, because in truth, that's the name of the game, is being a ride leader, being a leader, and ensuring that there's a win. Tyrone takes the win. Wesley comes in second. I come in third. So that's the skinny on race dynamics, race tactics, being in the right position at the right time. Coach David, CIS Training Systems. Keep riding, keep the rubber side down.